right, here we go. Get the bar. Happy Sunday, everybody.
Hi, guys.
Welcome to Lais and The Coach, a special Sunday edition. And we continue with our interviews.
Yes.
We haven't done a show just me and you in a while, and we've done so many interview shows. That's awesome. And today we have a returning guest. Team Forever athlete.
Yes.
And just getting off his first WBFF show. Welcome back, Juan.
Hey guys.
Hi, Juan.
How you doing?
Welcome back to the show.
What's up, guys?
So, we've talked to a lot of the people on the team. A lot of them this week.
Post-show.
Post-show. We talked to Juan a couple weeks before he got on stage for the first time. Just so that he could share some of his experiences during his diet and his training, getting ready for the stage. But now that he's actually done it, it's going to be great to hear how that felt, how that went. But on an interesting note, we have spent the whole weekend watching the Mr. Olympia.
Yep.
What a cool thing that's been.
We loved it. It's
been really cool. Like it's like if you're like into basketball and you get to watch the finals, or you get to watch your favorite team. You know, it's when you're in this sport or in this thing that we do. Whenever something like that comes, it's always cool to be able to watch it take place.
Yeah, Super Bowl of bodybuilding.
It's the Super Bowl of bodybuilding, and it was great.
It was really cool.
It was great.
It was really cool. We need to do like a whole show on that.
It's actually been really
It was
cool.
your idea, right? Do a whole show on it? No, it was Free's idea.
Yeah. We mentioned it, yes.
Yeah. It's been great because I followed a lot of the trajectory, a lot of the athletes competing. You know, everybody has, in this social media time, everybody has a social media page, a YouTube channel. And when I first became a fan of the sport, you had to wait until the magazine came out, right? And I could tell you specifically for the Olympia issue of that magazine, like a Flex or Muscle and Fitness, wouldn't come out for like 6 months.
Oh my God.
Like,
how the hell?
And again, like there wasn't a pay-per-view, you couldn't watch it online.
It was on social media with all the other
you could dig through different platforms and different forums to find out who won, but the magazine with the pictures of the show, it would literally take 6 months sometimes.
It's crazy.
So
I would never be able to wait that long to find out anything.
Well, in this era, you know, it's real-time stuff. This era that we're in. So last time we talked to Juan, like I said, we were a few weeks out from his show, and he was all full steam ahead, right?
Yeah.
With his prep.
How many weeks were we? Do you remember? 4 weeks.
It was probably,
it was more than that.
Yeah, it was probably more than that. Yeah,
6 or 8
probably
weeks,
6
maybe.
weeks or something, yeah.
So how were those last couple weeks leading into the show for you?
To be honest, it was actually the last couple months was starting to really be tough. Mental, physical exhaustion was really taking over. But I think that's when the toughness really kicked in, because I had to remind myself that I had to go and I had to stick through it. But that's when the true, perseverance and sticking through it really came through. It was tough. It wasn't easy. It was tough. But I'm glad I went through that, because when I finally got on the stage, it's like I did it. It was that much better. It was a victory, really, for me.
I think
sense of accomplishment.
That sense of accomplishment. We like everybody that we've talked to, and we've been talking about it lately. Like that sense of accomplishment of completing the thing has been, it just keeps coming up.
Yeah,
for
sure.
And doesn't that apply to anything? Like just finishing something that you start, right?
Seeing something through.
Seeing it through. Like I think that a lot of times people see the pictures on stage or they see a lot of the people that we coach, or anybody really.
The end result.
They see the end result and they say, that would be great to accomplish, or that would be cool, but I could never, right? I'm starting I'm gathering data.
Your favorite.
My favorite. My favorite thing is to compile data and have lots of proof and evidence and facts so that I could like throw it back. But I'm starting to compile data, and I'm starting to see a little bit of a trend in the I could never do that really means I could never finish this or I could never see this through. Because anybody could start, right? Anybody could start a program or like a diet or a training program. But the difference between you guys is that you see it through, right? And I've said it several times, the difference between all the people that at least in our environment, right, that we coach, because we coach different people. We coach people that compete, and we coach people that are not interested in competing, that want to transform the way they look, maybe they want to feel better, look better, whatever. Yeah. But the biggest difference is that the people that are getting on stage have that goal date, that deadline, that timeline, and they see it through. Because not everybody that starts this journey sees it through either.
Right.
You know, even if their goal is a stage.
We say it all the time. Until we're backstage, I don't know who's doing it and who's not.
Right. And I'm really seeing that at the very beginning of the conversation, I don't know if I could do this or I can't see my body looking like that is really correlating with, I don't know if I could see this through. You know?
Because a lot of times too, what people will do is if they don't say that, they'll say something that means the same thing. Like, oh, that's a lot of dedication.
Right.
That's a lot of discipline.
Right.
Or that's, there's no way that I could eat like that, or I can't spend that much time at the gym. Like, people will make excuses or they'll give reasons why they can't without even having all the information. Which leads to the same thing, right? It's the same data that you're compiling. It's just worded differently.
And it's really just the way they're expressing it.
Totally.
Yeah. Right?
Totally.
So, you saw it through.
You
right?
did.
You saw it through.
I can't believe it.
And let's go right into, because we talk, like, if you haven't seen Juan's episode, I'm gonna put it, if you're listening to this on SoundCloud or iTunes or whatever, I'll put it in the notes so you could click on it. There's a link to the YouTube episode, and if you're watching on YouTube, then I'll put that link here too. It's somewhere on the page. And we talked about where he was when he started his transformation and that. But let's go fast forward right to show weekend, right? You checked into the hotel or you arrive at the hotel. Did the nerves start then, or?
It did it. And the whole journey was so surreal. Like, it didn't feel like I was going to do it. Even though I was, like, focused and training and just sticking to my discipline and just being tunnel vision, it just didn't feel like I was going to do it because I've never experienced anything like that. It didn't really hit me when we did check-ins. I mean, I was happy to be there. I was excited. Didn't really hit me. It hit me, I think, the morning after. When I woke up Saturday morning, and I looked around, I was in my room alone, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I doing this? Why am I here? Like, how can I get out of this? Like, it honestly crossed my mind. Like, that's when the nerves kicked in. And it's because...
Say no sound. No sound? No, we good. Sorry. All right.
But yeah, the morning after, that's when the nerves really kicked in. And it's just your mind playing tricks on you. You're just like, I started comparing myself, and I started to like, oh, I'm not going to look good or whatever. Not even seeing the guys. I was just like psyching myself out. But I had to kind of take a step back and realize, if I made it this far, that means I accomplished so much more.
Right.
I'm in the best shape I've ever been. I did this, I did that. This is just the icing on the cake. If I'm here, I did it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it kind of hit me the morning after for whatever reason. And then as we went on the weekend, we'll probably talk about it, but then when we did the photo shoot, the team photo shoot and all that.
So I was at, you woke up Saturday.
Yeah, woke up Saturday.
And now you're going through your thing in your head.
Through my head.
And what's on the agenda? What's on the agenda for you Saturday?
So Saturday, we did first the team photo shoot.
So you got a photo shoot scheduled. So,
which was much needed. I'm glad I did, because if I probably didn't, I probably would have been freaking out the entire day. That
it breaks the ice,
it breaks the ice.
Yeah.
It kind of
I say that all the time.
It was such a great experience, and then that's when I really started to see how I looked. I'm like, all right, I can do this.
It's coming together.
Yeah, it's coming together. It was working out. All that rice, all that whatever.
All that rice.
But
let me tell you something. Juan ate a lot of rice.
Yeah, we all hate him for it.
A lot.
And yeah, so like the day started.
Is it Amazon?
Is it Amazon?
I don't know. We are in our dining room, and I could see like
Amazon trucks.
somebody pulling up front.
They already came today.
Yeah. But yeah, so the
You're like, that
shoot.
doesn't mean anything. Don't come again. Sorry, photo shoot.
Photo shoot. But yeah, then I think we did the first coat of the
tan,
and that's when I was like, all right, I'm ready.
I got this shit.
You really see the transformation, you see the highlights, and
the tan changes everything.
Oh yeah,
doesn't it?
Yeah, it transformed me like 100%. I was like, who is that guy? Like I didn't recognize myself.
This is what I look like. I love the tan.
But then that's when the sense of accomplishment was like all the shit that I went through and all the negativity and psyching myself out. I was like, you're stupid. I don't know why you did that. Like you fucking did it. And that, I think the nerves went away at that point. Nerves were coming back, and it was something that I'd never done. Like the moment where I stepped on the steps before getting on stage, I started freaking out. But as soon as the lights hit me and I hit the stage, it was like automatic.
Like you belong. This is where I belong.
I was like, look, I'm here. What's up? So I had the moment where I was, but I do that a lot. Like I try to psych myself out when everything I do, but you kind of have to like take a step back and look at the perspective and look at everything you've accomplished. So
it's definitely different when it's unknown. You know,
exactly.
Like I get nervous before every show, and then the same thing. I hit the stage and I'm like, okay, I'm okay, which is why I love that beginning parade.
Right.
It, like you get to step on stage, but it's crazy that you can like be so nervous and step on stage and be okay, because then here's the thing, like the thing is here. So the unknown, I think, is what really freaks people out, because they don't know what to expect. They don't know how they're gonna feel, how they're gonna do. And the moment you do it, you're like, okay, I'm good. It's not that bad.
It just never felt, I don't know, for whatever reason, it never felt real to me. Like as much as I was training and I knew what I was training for, but it just didn't feel real to me. I don't know if that makes any sense.
It does.
You know, like
maybe like going on a vacation where you're like, you don't really feel like it's happening.
But I think
when you get
it's
there.
very surreal, because most people that embark on this journey for the first time, I think it's on some level you subconsciously don't even think it's really going to happen, right? The entire journey, and then on another level, it's like, you know, am I really going to do it?
Yeah.
You know, this is my body really going to transform that way?
Right.
I find it really interesting because a lot of the athletes have said it to us, but I've said it to a few people. If day one that we discussed getting on stage, I said, if you do everything that I am telling you to do, this is what you're going to get. And I showed you a picture of what you would look like if you did it. You know, I still don't think that everybody would like, oh, great. Like every day and you wake up, it's coming, you know, and you do what you got to do.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe the outcome. And the part that's crazy too is you get that outcome without ever being able to fathom that it's going to be that good, but you're still picking apart.
Right.
Like you said, am I ready? Am I this? Am I that? You know?
And I think also what helped me was being in a group of people that they're going through the same shit as you. I was like, okay. You know, so like having that environment and that group of people where they were all awesome and everybody was just like great vibe, and it helped the nerves as well. Even though it'll come back like, oh shit, I'm about to go on stage. But like having the same stories with everybody else and everybody has each other's back, that was very comforting. Like we were all there for the same reason.
Yeah.
We wanted to better ourselves.
And I think that there's parallels in this journey to just about anything, right? Because in any outcome, like let's say you're going to purchase a home or start a business or do whatever. If day one you're like, all right, well, this is the work ahead and these are all the things that I need to do to get this outcome. And if I just do step 1, step 2, step 3, like, and stay on the path, I will arrive. Everyone kind of like falters and falls on and like, hey, is this really going to happen? You know, it's taking longer than I thought, and all the things that go through your mind. But I think that there's so many parallels with this journey and every other journey that has this really big thing at the end that you're trying to accomplish or see through.
Yeah.
But it still comes down to the completion, right? You still got to do the day-to-day things to see it through and complete the task before you actually arrive. And that's, I think, part of the challenge sometimes.
And you can't really see it
because you can't see it, and you still got to
see
do
what's
the work.
going on. Exactly.
You still got to do the work,
yeah.
no matter what.
You're
And
not always going to see the transformation. You're not always going to see the progress. You're not always going to see change. It feels like everything's the same, and it's not.
We are used to doing something and getting immediate feedback, right? Like you want a bigger screen, you go buy a bigger TV. You know, you want louder sound, you add speakers to that. Like we are used to immediate feedback with anything, and this kind of process just
doesn't allow that.
Me, the work, the eating, no problem. I got it. But my problem, and one of the reasons why I decided to step on stage was, of course, to look good and all that, like I said before, but I needed mental toughness. I was weak mentally. Like, always psych myself out. I always convinced myself not to do something, no matter what it was. And this journey definitely helped me realize that, you know, I can put my mind, if I put my mind to something, I'm going to do it. It's going to happen. Like, look at all the other many goals that I accomplished getting to this, which was probably huge. It was probably bigger than getting on the stage.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back and watch the episode, like at the very beginning of his journey, like a few weeks in, he did this High Rocks event, which is a new event for the United States. It was like a little bit of a fusion between some of the adventure races, like like the Spartan race, but also kind of a fusion with shorter marathons. So basically the High Rocks is a one-day event, and it has 8 workouts. Every workout is very different. Anything from 1,000-meter sled push to walking lunges with a sandbag. There are 8 workouts, and in between each workout, there is a 1,000-meter run, right?
Fuck that shit. You couldn't pay me to do it.
So when the first time that High Rocks is in Germany and all over Europe, and the first time that they hosted an event in the U.S. was in Miami, and we were one of the gyms that were like a host gym for those workouts. And when he decided to do it, right, we started training at the gym, but that was one of the first mini goals that he's talking about. Like, he signed up for the race, showed up to the race, did the race.
All of this very new at working out. Like, you weren't a fitness person or an athlete your whole life.
He had just started on a program a few weeks prior.
So that was already out of your comfort zone. Anything that you haven't done is out of your comfort zone, right? So,
but I think that said or set the momentum for the next set of things, right? Because he still wasn't working on his food at that point.
Right. He was just working out.
He was working out consistently, more consistently than he had ever worked out. But that race, I think, triggered the next set of things. Because it wasn't even just participating. Like, finishing that event was difficult.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, 100%.
It's
so difficult.
Hard. There were people that did not finish, and I think finishing that race put in perspective, like,
how much you can do,
how much he had been able to do in the amount of time that he had spent with us. But then on top of that, like, wait a minute, like,
what else
I want more.
do?
Like, well, if I did this, well, what else could I do?
That's one of the biggest that this journey to the stage brought to me. Like, I realized how much shit I left on the table in my life because I psyched myself out. I was always the one in my way. So that's one of the things that I'm glad I stuck through. But looking back, I'm like, look at all the shit I've done in a year.
A year.
A lot. You've done a lot. I always like to say, too, that, like, when you said mini goals and you said, you know, it sets the tone, every experience is like, I like envision it like a stepping stone, right? Like, it all is a piece of like this big puzzle of bettering yourself, or recreating yourself, or whatever quest or journey somebody is on. Sometimes it's more physical, sometimes it's more mental. It's always, to me, a mixture of both, whether you can look at it that way or not. But every single photo shoot, race, hard day that you see through, show, whatever, podcast episode, even that's very nerve-wracking for a lot of people. It was for me at first too, right? And it's like everything is like just another piece to your puzzle, another stepping stone to everything that you're heading to do.
Like self-growth. Like, you're starting to realize not only the physical change, the mental, the spiritual change, everything that you can do if you just really apply yourself. So it was really neat to see the difference, who I became in 1 year.
Yeah.
I'm a completely different person.
And big or small, it
Yeah.
all plays a role.
Yeah. So,
You know, sometimes people just focus on that end stage moment.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And how many things did you go through, like you said, that probably were even more impactful in that year leading to the stage that contributed to who you've become and all the different moments where you've had that sense of accomplishment and growth. You know?
And I think along the way, everybody that we worked with this year, you know, one of the things that you all have in common is that you all managed to train and prep for a show during one of the craziest eras in history.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had so much uncertainty.
Yeah.
When you decided, when did you decide to do the show? Back in January, right?
December, January.
Yeah, it was January.
January when I made my final decision.
Right.
Of January.
Yeah, he made his final.
Yeah.
He
his
was
final
considering
answer.
it.
And he phoned a
Let
friend.
me sleep on it.
You know.
Let me think about it.
And then when he finally decided, it was January, and then fast forward 4 weeks, and everything got turned upside down, right?
Yeah.
Like gyms closed, we had a whole bunch of uncertainty, but, and again, back to correlation, this goal at the very end, or that deadline, right, kept that vision,
Kept everyone working.
kept everyone on the team going, because at the end, and everyone said it, I don't know if it was the same for you, but this was the only thing that they can control, right?
Yeah.
Choosing to eat the food, choosing to work out was one of the only things for all of us that we actually had control over, because nobody could tell us, you know, there were curfews, there were, you know, so many rules and restrictions on what you couldn't do, but no one could control if you ate your food the way you were supposed to, and if you chose to work out and stay physically fit.
But I think for me, because this is the first time, and it sounds terrible, but this is the first time I've ever accomplished such a long-term goal, to be honest. Mm-hmm. But my problem was that it was so far away. So I felt there was opportunity to kind of take your foot off the pedal. So I never understood why people did mini goals to reach a long term. So that's when the 75 days kicked in, and another 75.
Well, not only that, but if you really think about it, you had a few mini goals, because we had a photo shoot lined up.
Right.
We had 3 photo shoots.
We had 3 photo shoots that we did this
2
year.
at the gym, 1 on the beach.
But before
right?
your shoot, you already had a photo shoot lined up, and then that set the all right. Well, if I stay focused from now until then, right? So if the goal was all the way at the end of the table, and you stayed focused from here till here, you know, that first photo shoot, then great. So you cross that bridge first.
Yeah.
Right.
And we always make sure we do that for the team.
Absolutely. It's so important to have these mini goals or milestone goals, because they also let you know that you're moving in the right direction, right? Because maybe the goal is really big, again, like getting on stage, but these mini goals, these micro goals or milestone goals, they kind of let you know that you're moving in the right direction, because you're not supposed to arrive yet, right? You're like when you hit that milestone, that isn't your arrival, but you are able to look back and say, okay, I made it this far. Yeah. I'm definitely going in the right direction.
And they keep you engaged. Yeah. You know, that's the thing about this process. It doesn't really matter how committed and excited and determined you are. You need things along the way to keep you engaged. But I wanted to go back to what you said earlier about this year being crazy, because I've never heard of anyone that's gone through a prep and didn't have something majorly hard happen during the prep, right? Like, that's the nature of prepping, because you're always prepping for months, and life is life, and something is going to happen inside of those months.
Right, 100%.
Right? Like, I've gotten on stage 6 times. There was never a prep where I was like, this was good. Like, some days were hard, whatever, but nothing major happened in my life. Something major happened in my life inside of every prep. That's the beauty of it, right? You persevere and you get through it. And you hear a bunch of crazy stories, like, this happened during my prep and that. Like, that's what I think sets people apart, is like, you did it no matter what got thrown your way. Life is going to get in your way. That's what you always say, right? Are you going to push through no matter what? But this year was beyond something like that.
It was beyond everybody's control, and it happened to all of us.
All of us. But at first, it was like, okay, is this thing really serious? Like, are we all going to die?
Right.
Right? Like, at first, everyone's panicking, because it's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, none of us have lived through something like this. Right. So at first, what's happening? Then the gyms are closed. Then the shows are getting canceled. Then the shows are getting moved. So it's beyond something happening in your life that you're like, okay, this sucks in my life right now, but I'm going to persevere through because I got a show. Do we have a show?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, do we have a gym? are we going to die? Like,
Right.
there's so
A lot
many
of
things
uncertainty.
happening that it's like, at any point in time, getting through a prep is a major accomplishment, even if you go through something tragic during your prep. But this one specifically, like this year, anyone who got on stage is
Kudos.
beyond
Yeah.
epic.
I didn't want anything to get in my way.
Yeah.
Like I didn't, like because I feel like I owe it to myself. Like I didn't want to let myself down, so I just kept going, and it was tough. It was tough, but you have to find a way to adapt. If you really want it that bad for yourself, you want to stick something through, you got to find a way to adapt.
And
But
how
keep
much,
staying
you know,
focused.
I know that before you were talking, I think I cut you off when we were talking about 75 hard. How much momentum do you think you got
Huge.
from completing that?
That was, I don't think if I would have done it, I don't think I would have had the same outcome. Because, like I said, it just kept me just on that. I just kept my mind on that positive mindset. Like, I need to do this. Like, this needs to happen.
Non-negotiable.
There's non-negotiable. This is gonna happen. I'm gonna get my food in, my training in, my water in, my book in. Next day, let's do it again. Like, it just kept me on track.
One of the things that I always like to ask about, because, you know, people watching, people listening, you know, they start to like what you were saying at the beginning, they start to come up with all the reasons why they can't, right? And one of the things that always comes up for people is their social circle or their family or their friends, right?
Yes.
How am I going to accomplish? And honestly, it doesn't even have to be the stage. It could be just somebody who is looking to improve their health. You know, maybe they want to lose a little bit of weight, but they're like, well, how am I going to do this if my friends invite me over for dinner? Or how am I going to do this if, you know, my family's having a get together?
Yeah.
How did you go about that? Get some new friends.
So all right. So I knew I had to change a lot of aspects of my life. The fitness, the eating, the partying was very poisonous to my life. It was holding me back. I had a lot of great friends, but I realized I had to change a lot of aspects of my life, and that was one of them. I really cut a lot of that out. Friends and my family is very small. It's my brother, my mom, my dad. So like, and yeah, they didn't understand at first, but then they just stopped asking and they respected it. But I decided to cut myself out of it because I just didn't want to be around that environment anymore. If a friend had a party and they invited me, great, I can't go. Period.
Yeah.
This is what I decided to do. And to be honest, I was kind of thinking about it the other day, like Yates, I lived like a monk. And except that I was working and I was driving, but like my day was wake up early, go to work, train again, eat, go to sleep, do it again.
You know, and it funny you hear that because you say it right, and I'm like, well, that's what you're supposed to. Like,
Yeah,
you want to accomplish something big, you go all in, right? But the person listening, it's like, well, I'm not going to cut out my friends. It's like, well, you know, I'm not going to cut out my friends because, you know, those are my friends. Or this.
I'm not saying I did it. I still had a social life. I still went out here and there, but it was completely different.
Not as often.
Not as often. If I felt like I didn't want to do it, hey, I didn't do it.
Yeah.
And for the most part, I didn't do it.
How many times, if you're listening or watching, how many times have you gone to do something in a social situation, friend, family member, that you didn't want to go do, right? And you still went and did it anyway. Yeah. And then the next day said, man, I really didn't want to go do that. I shouldn't have done it. But you still went and did it. And I think that happens so often.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
we feel obligated to because we're like, well, I haven't seen so-and-so, or every time they invite me, I don't go, or I said I was going to go in a moment of excitement.
This weird sense of obligation.
Obligation, yeah.
You know?
I mean, if there's nothing wrong.
Why don't you feel obligated to yourself?
Yeah, like if you want to go party, you want to go, you know, hang out with your friends, fine. But I felt like I let myself down a lot because of things that I put stuff aside that I wanted to do, and I felt obligated to do that. So I decided, coming in this year, I told myself it's time to make changes. And that's what I decided to do. I decided to keep to myself. And to be honest, I started to get to know myself a lot better.
And to create a different
exactly. And to create a different lifestyle and do what I wanted to do. And I felt most happy prepping and doing what I wanted to do. It was less stressful in the fact that I didn't have to worry about this drama or that drama, what he said or what she said. You know, I stuck to what I can control. And before I decided to compete, that's what I told myself I need to do. Is like, I need to branch out on my own. I need to get away from certain things. I need some mental clarity for me. Like, I just need to change certain stuff. And I realized that part of my life had to change, and I did.
And everyone's journey is different. Everyone's process is different. But when we were talking to someone that was coming onto the team the other day, and it's like, I feel like people are always so against change, whether they want to admit it or notice it or not. It's like, change is so scary for people, right? But it's like, oh, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to see my friends, or I'm not going to stop eating the things that I like, and I'm not going to be that person that has no life, doing this. You have all these stigmas. Like, I used to be that person, right? Like, I had all the reasons why that was going to be a miserable path for me. But here's the thing. In order for things to change, things have to change.
100%. And that's come up so much this weekend, going back to how we started the show, watching the Olympia. The first time that she watched, right? Like, I
wasn't watching. He was watching. I was in the background just doing stuff. And I was like, what the hell?
And all she talked about was, I can't live a life like that.
Who does that? Why would they do that? That's
why would they choose
awful.
to do that? There's, so many things. And here we are, fast forward, 5, 6, 7 years later. And, you're one of those people.
I know.
That does that.
And I'm at the edge of my seat, like, is he going to make it? Is she going to make it?
But in retrospect, I think that sometimes people focus on what they have to give up
and lose and miss out on,
and not focus enough on what they're going to gain.
Right.
If what you're going to give up is Saturday night, pizza, but what you're going to gain is health, vitality, energy,
a body you like,
and a body that you love, are you really giving something up?
Yeah, I think, and that's what I was saying. Like, everyone's against the change, but everyone wants change. But it's like, is that your phone? You can get it. In order for...
There's no pauses on live. TV.
It's live. It's real life. In order for there to be change, there has to be change, right? And it's like, but people don't want to change. But here's the thing. If you're not happy where you are, then you do want change. If you're like, I don't give a shit, like, I am super content with where I'm at, then that's awesome.
Exactly.
But if there's the slightest bit of
discontent,
that's what I was looking for, and unhappiness with any area of your life, health and fitness or not.
Yes.
Maybe it's your relationship. Maybe it's your job. Maybe it's the way your bed is positioned in your room. Maybe you need to rearrange your house. Maybe you need to move, right? Like, anything in your life that's like, this is not really like, I'm 100% happy with it, then fucking change it. Like, it's your obligation to change it or not complain about it.
Right.
And that's the thing. Oh, but I can't do this and I can't do that. Like, well, pick your heart, right?
How many times have we seen that whatever you are not changing, you are choosing?
Yes, amen.
How many times have you seen it? And that is applicable to anything. You have a miserable experience at work, change it.
You hate your fucking husband, change it.
Right. Hate your wife. Goes both ways, right? But the point is, in this health and fitness world that we live in, where people complain about the way they feel, about the way they look, and they complain for weeks and months and years, yet do nothing about it, then you're choosing that, right? You're also choosing to complain.
Yes.
Like, I'm 33, and I realize...
I thought you were older.
I am, but I'm going to say I'm 33 for the people.
For the people. For the fans.
For my fans. And I felt that I didn't know who I was. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I just felt like I was just trying to fit in and trying to let people dictate my life and just following things that I didn't want to follow. I chose to be like this year. I chose to just be on my own and focus on this because I was really fucking tired of that reflection in the mirror. I had enough. Yeah. I don't know how many times before I met you guys, I tried to, I was always active in high school. I was always active. I was 130, the skinniest I was. I was always active. And then when I left high school, partying and all that happened, I was always trying to get in shape. But at the same time, I didn't shape up my life. You know what I mean? I was going down the wrong path with some good people, some bad people, but I was just following the crowd. I wasn't really making my own path. So that's when I decided I'd fucking had enough. And that's when I met you guys and I started working out. I was like, I'm gonna dial this in.
And that can apply to anybody, right? Yeah. Maybe you're not a 33-year-old man who needs to discover or create a different version of himself, but having enough is really where the change starts.
Mhm.
You have whatever your holdup is, whatever your, unhappiness is, getting to that point where you're like, all right, I've had enough. So whatever that may mean for you, that's when the change begins.
And you never know how you're going to get there, because honestly, like, shout out to Ozzy and Yadi for bringing Juan into our circle and introducing him to the stuff that we were doing.
Yeah.
Because even though he was seeking that, it's every door kind of leads you to the next thing.
Yes.
But you do have to be willing to walk through that door.
It was seeing his transformation was really, because he was trying to get me to go for a while to try out your gym, and I was like, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like working out. And I hadn't seen him for like maybe 6 months, and when I saw him, he transformed like big time. I'm like, all right, I gotta try this out. And I was hooked from there. Then the rest is history. But I was in my little bubble, and I just didn't want to do anything, So yeah, if it wasn't for him, like, I don't think I probably would have continued.
Right.
Laying in bed and partying or whatever. But like, things happen for a reason. Like, sometimes you gotta go through that shit to learn. But like, my tipping point was I just fucking had enough with that guy in the reflection of the mirror. I had enough of that guy. I was like, something needs to change, because you feel it, like things are gonna go horribly wrong. I started seeing the dark spiral was going in, and it's part of my life that I don't talk about a lot, but it was getting pretty bad.
Yeah,
it was getting pretty bad, and I was raised right, great parents, great family, but it was just something that I created, and it wasn't a reality for me. I was just following the norm that I thought it was, and I had to take a step back and be like, all right, I have to start doing something for me, and that's what this whole journey was about, was changing me.
Yeah.
And coming full circle, so you got on stage, you did your show, you did your thing on the stage, and then now you come off the stage. All right, so now you completed that part of this journey, and now what?
I want to fucking go back on. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, no.
I need a do-over.
Let's do it again.
That was too quick.
I was happy. It's not that I wasn't happy.
Right.
It was an amazing feeling, even though it was like, I feel like I was up there for 2 seconds. Like, it was a blink of an eye. It was just a surreal experience. It was an out-of-body experience. I felt like I was just in a tunnel, and like I was just like in front of nobody. Like, it was so surreal. I can't explain it. But once I got off stage, I was like, all right, we need to come back and do this again. We need to kick some ass. Now it's time to kick ass. Yeah. This was an experience, and now it's time to kick some fucking ass.
And I find it funny how many times that's difficult for people to acknowledge. Because you did it, right? You accomplished it. Amazing feat. You got on stage more than most people will ever do,
a bunch
right?
Of things the whole year.
I think that sometimes people feel bad about wanting more.
Yes.
And I think that at some point, people don't even start, because they're like, well, if I start this and I like it, and then I'm going to want to do more. It's like, I don't even want to go down that path.
I think it's a defense mechanism, because you don't want to be let down. Like, if you say I want to win and you don't, then it's going to be disappointing, right? But if you don't say you want to win and you don't, then you're good.
Yeah, for me,
how could you be disappointed? That's not what you set out to do.
Yeah, for me, like yeah, everybody wants to win. Sure. Like, winning wasn't my mindset. Me, it was like getting on the stage and that
doing it.
Accomplishment, that was my win. But after, I was like, I just want to get better. Like, I want to beat 2021. I want to get better. The same thing with the high rocks and anything I do. Now, you go into that athlete mentality. You're an athlete now. We were talking about that. I just want to get fucking better.
But now your standards have changed, right? And now the you who's here now has a different set of standards, and wanting more makes you have to get better.
Yes.
So there's no choice, and you're choosing to do that. Again, like, you are choosing to say, I'm really happy where I am. I did a lot, but now I want to get better. Yes. Like, you're not saying, well, that's it. I did this, call it quits.
No.
You're choosing to want to get better.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about, like, to keep growing, to keep getting better.
Yeah.
To learning and to keep. Listen, I'm not perfect. I'm not saying, I'm new.
Got it all figured out.
Yeah, I got it figured out. I'm born again. Like, no, like, but now you start to realize that you start picking up little things like, all right, now I gotta fix this about my life. Now I gotta change
How much more you can do, it gives you the confidence to do more.
Exactly. You want more for yourself.
And listen, we say it all the time. You might get off stage if you're doing it for the first time, and you might say, that was awesome. Like, I'm so happy that I did that. But it's not really my jam, right? Like, I have no desire to do that again. Maybe I want to do a photo shoot next, or a race, or whatever. I want to, whatever, right? Like, it doesn't mean that just because someone does one show, they need to continue doing shows to get better. You can continue to get better without doing that same thing. But it is about continuously getting better. Absolutely.
That's my whole thing. So, like, after the fact, well, first of all, the experience getting on stage is crazy.
It's so cool.
It's hard, like I couldn't explain. Like, I was nervous because I was the first one in my category to go up. So I'm like, what?
On top of everything.
First. I was like, I gotta walk where? And I kept asking the lady maybe 13 times. So I got there, but like it was like everything just slowed down when I got up there, and it's just all right. Let's go. It's time to go, and it's like a self-accomplishment that I can't even describe. It was just so surreal, and it happened quickly. It happened so fast, but it's like a weight off my shoulders. Like I did it. I arrived. It was so cool. Like it was just
amazing.
That's the best. I love
amazing.
That.
We ask everybody, like, what would you say to somebody who is, and I'm pretty sure we asked you on your last one, but now that you've done it, specifically for the person that is considering getting on stage, curious about getting on stage, thinking about doing this whole competition thing, but isn't embarking on the journey yet, what would you say to that person that's like right there on the edge?
Fucking do it.
I knew he was going to say it just like that.
Don't even think about it. Fucking do it. Because it's going to get you to where you want your goals to be and accomplish. You're gonna accomplish so much. And you're going to find out what you're capable of and all the shit you left on the table. 100%. And it's not about winning. If you get on stage, you already won.
Yes.
You already set everything you want to do, break all the goals and accomplish what you want. All that's going to happen. Just fucking do it. Yeah. Just fucking do it. The pros that were there, it was refreshing because everybody there was amazing. It was good vibes, but they were rooting for us, the amateurs. They were so happy. It's like, dude, if you're here, that means like you made it. Yeah. You made it. You're here. You're ready to go. And then all you gotta do is from here on out, just keep getting better. Keep getting better. Like they always sharing stories. I used to be $130, or I was 400 pounds, or whatever. And then you look at these guys and they're jacked. But how much time did they put in? Because they decided to fucking just do it and show up for themselves. So if you have that, or should I do it? I don't know if I can. I don't know. Just fucking do it. That's it. There's no. I
think we could do a compilation of this part for everybody.
Yeah.
What would you say for someone on the fence? Yeah. Fucking do it. What is it? Do it. Jump over the fence.
Just fucking do it. That was that because like Coach and Lais were saying, like they talked to Lais about it first, and then Coach, and then some other team members, and they were bringing up the idea, and I'm looking at myself. I'm like, I can't do that
I was
shit.
like, Juan, let's do a show. He's like, no.
That's fucking crazy. So I took some time to think about it. But what happens is you find more ways not to do it. You find more ways to psych yourself out.
More reasons.
I'm not tall enough. I'm not a model. I'm not muscular enough. Whatever. And then the morning of, I think it was a Sunday workout or something, that I woke up and I still didn't know. And then I just said, I'm going to just fucking do it. I literally just said that. I'm going to just fucking do it. I got out of the car and I told him I'm going to do it.
And that was me too for my first show. Like, I was not a model. I was not a front of the room person. I didn't even post on Instagram. Right. Like, I was not, out there, and I was not in shape. I was none of those things. I couldn't even hold on to a diet or meal plan for 3 days straight. Yeah. But that's the reason why I had to do it, because I wasn't that person, and I wanted to be, and not necessarily like, I want to be a model, but like I wanted to be like the person that put a big goal in front of me and set out to do it and saw it through and change things about myself that I didn't like being shy or being insecure about certain things. So I was like, that's the reason why I had to do it, because I thought I couldn't, because I thought it wasn't me, So those are all the reasons why too.
It's a life-changing experience.
I know that you always have a question off of the weight. I was just looking at the date.
He knows how quick I'm gonna fucking.
And I realized that this is one of the last shows of the year.
Yes, it is.
As we're ending the year. And I wanted to take a moment to just talk about some of the things about this year, because as you look back, right, what were some of the moments that stood out for you this year? And honestly, like, just because this show really isn't about just working out and dieting, anything. Like, you know, the first thing that I thought about when I was going to ask you that, I was like, remember Tiger King?
Oh my
Forgot
god.
about that shit, yeah.
You know what? That Google commercial, I think, really
Yeah. Have you guys seen that Google commercial?
encapsulates it all, but like in a very sad way.
Yeah.
It talks about Kobe and the Black Panther guy and the Black Lives Matter and all this stuff.
COVID.
It's like, it just like.
But what were some of the things that you remember about this year as we're closing?
Hilarious. If you haven't seen Tiger King.
Do you guys remember Tiger King?
Man, I want.
You believe
we should have known what this year was gonna be like.
Like, we should have been prepared after that.
When Tiger King became a hit, we should have known what was coming.
You should work out and train with the same level of confidence that he has.
Yeah.
For real.
That guy was on another level of confidence.
For real.
Like, you should wake up in the morning.
Go through your days like Tiger King. What else happened this year?
I mean, to me, obviously, what stood out was when COVID happened and how rapidly like everything just shut the fuck down. And what I realized was really how short life is, because
How little control.
how anything could just change anything from the blink of an eye. Like, and that's when I started to realize how much I left on the table. Like, I don't want to go out and not really, like, God forbid something happens that I can't, you know, walk or whatever. You always find a way to adapt, but like, you start to realize how good you really have it.
Yeah.
Like all the things that you can accomplish, and you just decide not to. And how everything changed from it felt like it was from like a day to another. Like boom, shut down.
Every time something happened, I was that they were like, "Oh, they're gonna make everyone stay home." I'm like, they can't fucking do that.
Yeah, there's no
Bam!
way.
They're gonna close out other businesses.
Yeah.
They can't fucking do that. Bam! I was like, what the hell? They're gonna make everyone wear masks. I'm like, please. How are they gonna do that? Bam! It's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, all the things that I said could never happen did. And you're right, it does give you perspective.
I was like, don't sleep on something. If you say you're gonna do it and you find in your heart, it could be walking on stage, it could be anything in your life. If you feel this is your calling and your gut, that's what you have to do, just fucking do it. Like Nike, whatever.
I just feel
fucking do it.
I just feel like the stage never feels like someone's calling.
Right.
It just is. It feels like the big scary thing you never can accomplish, and in that journey of changing yourself enough to achieve that is, I think, the
But
goal.
even in the case that, you know, honestly, like, people listening or watching because they are in some way, shape, or form on a fitness path or on a health path or interested in getting one, right? But stage or not, like, I think that the advice is applicable either way.
Yeah, for sure.
If you are curious, interested, thinking about changing your approach to how you're doing things when it comes to the way that you eat or the way that you work out, your lifestyle, like, you've got to just do it. You know, you've got to stop thinking that you need a new week, a new month, a new Monday, a new year. Like, none of those things are going to make it easier or better. Those are just, you know, things that people say to give themselves permission to not start right away. And
I think this year especially.
Yeah, look at
like everyone is waiting for 2021.
No one waited for you to be ready for the pandemic. Right. No one asked you for permission to shut things down. It happened.
And no one thought it was going to last this long. Like, when this all started and they did all the things that I never thought they would, I'm like, all right, like, how long is this going to last? A month, maybe 2?
Right.
Here we are 9 months later, and everyone, I can't wait. Can't wait to get rid of 2020. Guys, nothing different is going to happen January 1st, 2021. We're all going to have to ride this COVID wave and all the changes.
You know what I've heard a lot this week? Today's the 20th. You know what I've heard a lot this week and this month? Like, oh, I'll start after the holidays. Forget why. Even if you were going to have a celebratory day on the 24th or 25th or whatever day you celebrate, or both, right? That's 2 days.
Same thing with New Year's Eve. That's 1 day.
Like, what are you waiting
3 days
for?
out of
You could be
next
well into your
10.
journey to, even if you've never done anything. Today is Sunday. Even if you started today or tomorrow, and then by Thursday and Friday you had some flexibility in what you were going to eat, or maybe took the day off, you already started. You know, you are 3 or 4 days further ahead than forget behind. 2 or 3 days, 3 or 4 days further ahead than you would be if you didn't do anything. You know?
Yeah. And we've even talked about this. Like, there's 2 days this week that for us, like we celebrate 24th at night. So
And in those 2 days, we're talking about 2 meals.
Right. Because
we're not talking about, if we ate 4, 5, 6 times a day, we're talking about 2 out of 12 meals.
Yeah. Same thing with next year. New Year's Eve at night is the only celebration.
Right.
We're not going to wake up on New Year's Eve and be like, oh, what are we going to eat?
Right.
Should I put ice cream on my pancakes? Like, it's New Year's Eve. We'll party later.
Right.
We can have a normal breakfast, lunch,
Calm
and
down.
dinner.
But go ahead. So I'll give her the final question.
I always ask, but he got into a lot of like his personal stuff. But I still always want to ask, what was specifically, what was the most impactful part of this journey for you?
That's gonna be a tough one to answer, because after seeing the podcast and that question really radiated to me, and the typical answer came out like, showing up for myself or stepping on stage and stuff. But I had to really think about it. And it hit me. I was like, getting to know me. That's...
I love the realness. Juani! We call him Juani.
That to me was big. Just getting to know myself and just showing up.
I love that. That was so good.
And that's why we do the show.
That's why we do it live.
And that's why we do it live.
It's going to make me cry.
Show up for yourself.
Yes.
Show up for yourself. None of us
Thank you
are...
for answering that so honestly.
None of us are getting out of this alive.
Nope.
Show up for yourself while you're here.
All our days are numbered.
Show up for yourself while you're here.
Yes.
Peace out, everybody.
No, that was beautiful.
That was awesome.
I love that. And I love that everyone knows the question that's coming and they've thought about it. That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about.
It's done the same thing for me, and that's why we love what we do and we continue to do it, because it's about so much more than
it's so much more than that. So until next time, if you are watching on YouTube, comment, hit the little like thing. If you are listening, same thing. They're supposed to be doing something with ratings, like if you rate it or something, that's good for it.
I don't know how any of this works.
I don't know how it works, but
we have some messages I'm gonna read.
Do what people do on podcasts.
Guys, thank you for tuning in. Juan, we love you. I love his story and his journey, and I love the realness of this show. Yes. We have 2 more shows of 2020.
2 more.
We are going to do an interview with Brianna Moret. And we are going to do a final, just Lais and The Coach, before 2020 is over. So be on the lookout for that in the next few days. Happy Sunday, guys.
Peace out, everybody.
All right, I'm going to go turn all this off.
I knew that was going to come.
I know I was going to cry.